We must be a part of it. These are principles of principles of church growth. If the church is going to grow, we must learn to have groups in our homes, brethren, because some of us, all of us, we just drive up to Hillview every Sabbath morning. Right? Look at it. Every Sabbath morning we drive up to Hillview, and we drive back out, and we don't know nobody around the area. Who do we know in Bozane Town? Who do we know in Yellow Elder? Who do we know in Millennium Gardens? Who do we know in Stapleton Gardens? Are we their friends? Do we know what their needs are? Involvement. 65% of the membership hold positions or are involved in ministries. What ministry are you involved in? What ministry are you involved in, church? Look at it. Fellowship. Some of us don't like to fellowship with each other. We hate fellowship. An old preacher who died many years ago said to me, as a young fella, he said, look here, pastor, when you're not fellowshipping, you're warring. We have to get to the point where we fellowship one with another. Look at it. Inclusiveness. Why is it that only some people could go in the pulpit and do things? Ouch. But the Sylvester, don't go too far. Come in the half mark, man. Come in the half mark. But the Brown, come in the half mark. Please help us here. Why is it that we want to come? Why is it that we don't want to be inclusive? Red and yellow, black and white, all are what? In God's sight. We have to be inclusive. Not only males can go on the platform, women can go on the platform too. There's a place for children. There's a place for youth. What about the demographics? Topics? Let me share something with you, brethren. Take this for the truth. If you want your church to grow, you need to have a higher percentage of your young adults in the congregation participating. Young people bring flavor. Young people bring spice. They bring energy. And I love my young people, brethren. Listen to me, and I make no apology for it. Don't beat me. In fact, you could beat me, but I ain't gonna fight with you anyhow. But I love my young people. And my young people are not perfect, but neither are you. Which means that sometimes they're gonna do some things that you don't like. But what you do, you hold their hands and you encourage them and strengthen them, brethren. How many of you remember when you were younger? You remember what things you used to do when you was younger? Huh? And one of the challenges, brethren, with the church, because there needs to be no war between the youth and the older ones. Okay? But what I'm saying to us is this. We have to get to the point where we share our story. Too many of us are ashamed of our stories. I always tell a story. I remember when I was in school. Toya and I went to school together. I know as Toya. I don't know as Latoya, as Boris, you know. But we went to school together. And she could tell you I used to be a little problematic. Thank God for Jesus' sake. Thank God for Jesus. I took a pilot pen one time and stabbed a young fella in his head 3 times. I had a serious temper. If you say A to me, I could say B, C, D, and I going straight on. I used to like to fight. I saw the blood just spouting out his head. And then I was taken to the office, and I was told, if it had gone an inch closer to his temple, he'd have been a dead man. I'd have been in prison today. But the thing is, you see, I always say to people, Had it not been for God on my side, I would not be standing where I am today. Thank God for Jesus. And you know what I say, brethren? Let me tell you something. I have a daughter who is 11 going on to 12. And I am almost 50 years old. Isn't that something? But guess what? When I get a little older and she grows up a little more and she began to do some things, I want the members of the church to rally around her and to say, I remember how your daddy treated me and he encouraged me, and I can encourage you and hold you up. Some of us don't think sometimes when we say things and when we do